Hi, everyone, and welcome to Latte Mingle's podcast. I am your host, Renee DiVincenzo. I am an entrepreneurial speaker and business mentor. I'm also the founder of Latte Mingle, where there is space for women to have real conversations, to get clarity, and to be part of a community. Visit us on our Facebook page if you haven't seen us already, and join our group and be part of our Latte Mingle chats every Thursday at 12 p.m. on Zoom Eastern Time. Now, today I am so excited to be inviting our special guest, Anita Calandra. Anita is part of our Latte Mingle group, and she is also the owner of Natural Wellness by Anita. Anita is a holistic health practitioner and wellness coach. She has a bachelor's training in holistic nutrition. Her certifications are in holistic practitioner, and she is also a herbal specialist and has her master's program students in integrative science, and she never stops learning. I had to read that a little bit, Anita, because I surely did not want to make sure I didn't mess that all up. So, Anita, I am so excited that you're here with us today. There is so much that we are learning about when it comes to nutrition and about what is in our products. And I guess everybody would probably also just kind of want to know is what inspired you to become a holistic practitioner and a wellness coach?
I would say it started with my health and my family's health to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as I started to learn about toxic ingredients in our food and in our products, it scared me a little bit, and I started my journey.
Well, especially, I totally agree with that because, when we go into the stores, it's if you can't read it, don't buy it. And if you can read it, buy it when it comes with the ingredients. It's so funny when you think about that. And just what I shared is I remember watching a reel on Facebook, and we kind of go through that all the time. There was actually a post or a reel showing our food ingredients back in the 50s.
Mhm.
And they did not have all of this stuff that is in our products today. And I don't know if that's just, to keep it fresher, so it's longer life on the shelf. But how would you describe your approach to wellness when it comes to nutrition?
For myself and my family, there's been a lot of trial and error because everybody's individual, so we all react to things differently. So I find it extremely important to track my food especially if I try something different, to see how it's affecting me, to see if I feel
Mhm.
anything from it. So I use the same approach with my clients that I want them to understand we may try something and it may not work for them. So we're going to have to turn, and try something else because everybody is different. Everything works differently in everybody's body. We're not all equal. Some people
Mhm.
have sensitivities to things and other people do not. So it is a little bit of a trial and error. But the one thing everybody has in common, unless they have some rare disease, is
Mhm.
everybody needs protein and a lot of it.
You're so true about that because I think I may be wrong saying this, but I know when I was going to a wellness center myself, they had said for me, or maybe just for my body weight and my just for me myself, it was that I needed about 140 protein. I don't know what
Grams of
that
protein,
means.
140 grams of protein.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Because, even like when it comes to losing weight, we think, we're losing the fat, but we do lose muscle. Is
Yes.
it that we lose muscle first and then we lose fat?
Not
How does it work?
necessarily. It's depending on what you're eating and what your body composition is. There's a lot of things that play into it, but the protein, helps you keep your muscle and helps you to establish muscle. So, you know how a bodybuilder say they're cutting so they're
Mhm.
so they can get cut up? Uh,
Yeah.
well, if a normal person just went to straight carnivore and kinda cut out all the extras, their
Mm.
body would get kinda cut up in that process because they're feeding, but the key is it's gotta be healthy proteins. It's gotta be an animal that ate the right things because you
Mm.
are what you eat, and that animal is also what they eat. So if you're eating a cow that's eating grains and corn and things like that, it's not gonna be good for you. If you're
Really?
eating a cow that ate grass and didn't eat any of that stuff, it's 100% better for you.
Wow. I didn't even realize that, like especially what they're feeding the animals on the farms and so forth. And even too, it's like when they use pesticide, right?
Yes.
Everything just kind of like when
Yep.
it rains and stuff
Runs
gets
off.
right into,
Yeah.
yes, right.
Yeah,
So
and just to wait, one more thing on that.
no, no,
Just
no,
to
no, go right
point out you are what you eat and your food is what they eat. A lot of biblical, pork is not a thing for a lot of different religions because pork
ahead.
is considered one of the dirtiest meats because they eat anything.
Really?
Yeah.
So that I remember, I've been watching a lot of your podcasts, and for those that are watching today, if you have not seen Anita's podcast, you could go to her Facebook page,
Mhm.
which is Natural Wellness by Anita.
Yep.
Is that yep?
Yep.
And I know I think it was in one of them. You were talking about the dirty list or something, the dirty
Oh,
food.
there's
The
a Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15, and that applies to vegetables.
hmm
And basically, it's updated every year, and the Dirty Dozen has the most, and it goes in order, from the most pesticides to, that are in that fruit or vegetable. And then the clean 15 is the ones you don't have to worry about buying organic because they're pretty clean and they don't have a lot of pesticide residue in them or anything. So
right.
if you have the option or you can't, or you don't have the option to buy it organic, you could buy that particular ones. You could be pretty comfortable having it on, that one. So the Dirty Dozen absolutely means you should buy it organic.
The dirty dead. Now, what are the clean ones you said too? You said there was a clean list. Can you mention
Clean
some of
15,
them?
I don't have it in front of me. Wait, maybe I
But
do.
like, because when you think about a clean list, and you're like, okay, clean vegetables, and then there's, I mean, is there also clean meats too of what to eat, like with fish and?
No, they don't have that, but for that, you want to stick with, wild caught is going to be your best.
Mm,
So the Clean 15 on 2025 has, pineapple on there,
mhm,
avocados, onion, cabbage, watermelon, mangoes, mushrooms, kiwi. So those are some of the ones that are there for the Clean 15.
mhm.
And then for your Dirty Dozen, let's see. Um, Strawberries, grapes, nectarine, spinach, peaches, apples,
Oh my
um,
gosh.
your like kale, collard greens, collards and mustard greens,
Oh
pear,
my
pears,
gosh.
bell, bell and hot peppers, green
Wow.
beans, cherries,
Well,
blueberries, celery, tomatoes.
so, when you're reading all of this, what is it that you do that specializes in how you help people, like with nutrition or energy healing or mindfulness movements, things like that? How is it that you help your clients when it comes to understanding what you just shared?
Well, a lot of times, somebody has to be ready and willing to learn and make the change. And then a lot of times, as we speak and I explain things, then they start to realize why certain things are bad, and it may never have been on their radar before.
Right,
When I learned what the difference between organic and conventional, because that's what you would call a regular a vegetable that's not organic, it's conventional. I just thought the organics were pricier just because, like, I really didn't know the reasons behind it,
right,
and I'm sure there's lots of people who really don't know the reasons behind it, and the organics have to be, grown without any of those pesticides in them, or and a lot of them are not even GMO'd, because the a GMO'd, plant usually means that it has been the pesticide is actually in the seed
mm,
already, like, it's so when it grows, it's growing so that certain bugs or
mhm.
diseases don't, like, go after it, so it's already in it, so that's why also non-GMO is very important, so
Yeah. I mean, it's so much when you think about how we eat, how we live, what's in our water,
well,
and
Florida just, passed that no fluoride in our water anymore, so
oh, okay. So, oh, they did pass that.
they did
Wow.
pass that, yes.
Wow. So, when you're looking at your programs, how is it that how are you helping the people with your programs? What programs do you have for people to understand nutrition and have a better way of life?
So I have a 12-week program that involves weekly sessions for
Hmm.
about an hour. Sometimes it can run over, depends, because like I said, it's very individualized. I look at each person differently. It's the
Hmm.
same basic, but it's going to change slightly for every person.
Right,
Um,
because
and we talk about nutrition, we talk about, clean and dirty dozen, we talk about carnivore, we talk about keto. It's all different for each person. And ultimately, you got to find what works for you. And I want it to be a lifestyle. I want our changes that we make to be something that you can live with and live with for your life, because I don't want to help somebody to feel better. And you don't know how good you feel until you feel bad. And what I mean by that is, like, when I go on vacation, or I have a birthday party, or something that I don't normally do. That's something that's rare, far and few between. I can feel when I eat something I don't normally eat, or if I drink something I don't normally drink. I
that
feel
is
it
so
immediately.
true.
So
Yes, that is so true. About that. So your programs, when it comes to your ideal client and the challenges they usually face, so like, could you work with clients like with diabetes, with any
absolutely.
type of like, so what type of clients do you work with when it comes to a person's like physical health or so forth? What areas can you help with when it comes to nutrition?
So, somebody suffering from chronic diseases,
Hmm.
and I want to preface that to say that chronic disease, 90% of the time, is coming from what we've done and can
Hmm.
be changed.
Okay.
So somebody suffering with chronic diseases, individuals who are looking to have more energy, they're
Hmm.
feeling very fatigued and tired all the time. Believe it or not, that can be coming that from what you eat. It's suffering with well, not suffering, but somebody who feels like on their lifetime, as they get older, and they're feeling like, I might be a burden to my family, and I don't want to be. I want to live to be whatever age I live to, but I want to be able to take care of myself. So people like that, like, I mean, it's open ended, honestly. um it's somebody who's motivated to learn about their body, about
Hmm.
nutrition,
Hmm.
and it's not just nutrition. There's so much more. I talk to my clients about circadian rhythm, how important the sun is, how bad sunblock is, the toxins in our products. It's just so much more about sleep, everything.
Yeah, I remember watching that on one of your podcasts. Now, for moms with kids who,
Mhm,
I think I don't know if you were actually talking about it on your podcast, but about kids with ADHD or
mhm.
kids that have autism. How is it that the foods that they eat, so like, as moms, we're just so busy. We go to the fast food place, give them dinner, taking them to soccer, or when it comes to making their lunches and the snacks, just to put it in there because our lifestyle is just, we're always on the go.
Yes.
So, what's your view on kids with certain types of disabilities when it comes to learning and how they process information? Um, what solutions can you give to moms to help them to maybe with their nutrition and what they're giving their kids to eat?
So children with ADHD or autism, things like that, diet 100% can play a part in helping
Mhm.
them live a better life. I mean, like, food can totally, what's the word I'm looking for? Food can make the problem exacerbate the problem. It can
Right.
exacerbate. Sorry.
That's okay. I have problems with words too sometimes.
It can make it worse. So, omitting specific things from the diet can help that child. So, like, food dyes are a big thing. And there's a great movie out there now, a documentary called To Die For, and it's DYE, based on dye. and
Mm.
how food dyes were affecting children, and how when the food dye was cut out of their diet, it changed so many of their behaviors. And these are children that were diagnosed with different things. And it doesn't mean that they were undiagnosed afterwards. I mean, some of the children, it was just from that, but for other children who were diagnosed and truly were diagnosed and truly have it, it did help them a lot.
Wow. So, you can actually put a plan together for children with that have this, like what moms should avoid and make
Yeah.
sure it's not in the ingredients and so forth.
Yes.
Well, I have to say, especially when you're a busy mom and helping them with shortcuts when it comes to preparing dinners, and you were, I do remember saying one thing about your oils or your seed oils.
Yes,
What
I
we
have.
think is great, because that's what we always learned,
Yeah.
to find out that it's actually a different view on that.
Yeah, seed oils are not good, and things that are considered seed oils are obviously something like a sunflower seed oil, but there's vegetable oils and canola oils. They're
Mm,
all very bad for us. We shouldn't, shortening, that's horrible. You
mm.
want to use things to cook with, like coconut oil, avocado oil, beef tallow, lard. Those are so much better for your body and for your food, and to cook with.
Oh
So
my God, lard! I remember my mother used to have that in the refrigerator, and I was like, "Oh my God, that is just like heart attack city." But
But
what?
shortening is heart attack city, the lard is not.
Yeah, because is it because your body can process it differently and break it
Yeah,
down?
yeah, it's the way it goes in. I
Oh,
mean, when they make something like shortening or canola oil or vegetable oil, it goes through a whole chemical process to get where it's at.
wow.
So the reason shortening was made was it had shelf life. Think about how long it could stay on the shelf. Lard is natural. It's not going to have a long shelf life.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. And I guess, as we progressed in the years with how we live our life, they're putting all these preservatives in the food so it can last a
Yeah.
year. It's like, oh, this is good till like, next year in December, and things that we're thinking that's fine. But actually, and that's probably, do you feel that's why we are obese? Because, you look at some different countries that, the way they eat, they're not, obese, but we are here in America. Is that what causes a lot of obesity from what's in their
I think
foods?
it's a combination of things. I think what's
Um,
in our food, we have a lot of chemicals in our foods that a lot of countries do not allow in their foods, number one. So that is a very true statement. And they affect our body and stop our body from doing things that our body should be doing. But it's also the food pyramid. It's horrible. The amount of grains and carbs and fruits and vegetables, you don't need as many that's there.
well,
What you need more of is protein. You need meat. You need natural foods that are in our world that one time in our life we hunted for.
oh
I
my
mean,
God.
if you're married to a hunter that goes and hunts deer and pheasant and quail, I mean, those things are good for you. They're eating a natural diet. They haven't been subjected to what we do in the
Mm.
industrial world.
And
So
it's so true because it tastes different too, and you got to
yes,
get used to that taste,
yes.
because we're not used to that on there.
The
So,
industrialization really messed up our food world, because when we figured out that we could travel food across the country and we could find a way to preserve it, that and then also learn that, oh, we could make a cow fatter by giving them grains, that's where everything started to change.
well, I think now we are reverting back to being a healthier country with all that is being done when
Mhm.
it comes to looking into our foods. Anita, how can someone get in touch with you to get a little bit more information about their diet, their foods? And I think too, you had mentioned about you could come to their home and clean out their pantry.
Yeah,
Did
I
I
can do
understand
a seed oil clean out.
that? Hmm.
And basically that's coming in and talking to them about what has seed oils in it, because believe it or not, it's not just about that bottle of oil that you're cooking with. It's in granola bars, it's in protein bars, it's in protein powder, it's in cookies, it's in everything. So
Wow.
I try to educate them where to find it, what to look for, and then give them healthy replacements, you know, so that there's, you got children, you need snacks. I'm realistic because I have 3 of them, and my youngest is almost done. He's a senior this year, but my point being is, he likes to have potato chips in the house, so to speak. So I try to only buy ones that are cooked in avocado or coconut oil, and I prefer the avocado because the coconut oil has a little bit of a flavor, and it's denser, so
Mhm.
you can taste and feel the difference, whereas the avocado is very light, no flavor. So it's things like that, explaining that there are options to still having some of this food.
Right.
um,
You mentioned coconut oil. I know there's some controversies where people would say with saturated fat, coconut oil is not good to use, but then there are others that are saying why coconut is better for you. What's your view on that?
I think coconut oil is good for you. I think if you're going to deep fry anything, um, you're going to use coconut or avocado, one or the other. And it depends on if you need that coconut flavor. Like fish and shrimp, great in coconut oil.
Right.
Some other things, not so much. I prefer the avocado.
Hmm. Well, I just have to say this was so educational. And I thank you so much for taking the time to be on the Latte Mingle podcast and that you are a member of our group. And how can people reach out to you?
So my website is naturalwellnessbyanita.com,
Mhm.
and you can see the programs on there, and you can book a free consultation on there just to talk, no obligation whatsoever. Excuse me. And then there's also you can call me. You can reach me at 954-548-4971. And I'm on all socials. Facebook's Natural Wellness by Anita. Instagram is Natural Wellness by Anita. And so is TikTok. So
So we're going to put all that information. So if you're watching this today and you want to get some more information about your nutritional health, or even being a mom, and how do I keep my kids healthy so they don't always get sick a lot, especially now, weather's changing, and well, not yet. I mean, it's still summer, but
summer, but
it comes into that fall season, and your kids start school, and then they're starting to get sick. If you really want to know how do you build up your immunity system,
you want to build it now for that.
you want to build it now, reach out to Anita. All this information is going to be in the post where you'll have her phone number, her website, also her social media links. And also, you have an email if people want to just send you an
Yes,
email.
naturalwellnessbyanita@gmail.com.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Anita. This was so educational and helping us to be a healthy person, and actually just to keep our families healthy. So thank you so much for being our guest,
Thank
and
you.
look for our next Latte Mingle podcast with another person in business. So look out for our posts. We will share some more information with you on the journey of being an entrepreneur and owning a business. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day, everybody. Thank
Thank you
you,
so much.
Anita.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.